ever since Avalon was first talked about as a location for Black Ops 6, some people, including me, have thought that maybe it could be a new Warzone map. Well, now Black Ops 6 is out, and using the Codcaster within a private game, we can get outside of the maps that take place in Avalon. We can see that the entire map is a lot more detailed than you might think. So this is the Lowtown map, and you can see that is the entire map area, kind of this group of buildings. But even if I just go immediately outside, I can see that these docks all have things like that seem a bit like they're placed there for cover set up. It seems quite detailed with roads and paths, etc. There's a play area, there's steps so you don't get stuck down there. But then you can even go further away from the maps and start looking inside some of the towns. Now this happened when we could first play Modern Warfare 2019. You could use Codcaster to get outside of some of the maps and look around what became Verdansk. And it was just kind of a low-resolution version of Verdansk. And that's what we're seeing here. You can see there's a merry-go-round. We just had a merry-go-round, actually, in one of the Modern Warfare 3 maps. There's some courts there. It looks like there's some locations that have kind of rooftops and things like that that are accessible. Then if we go outside of the actual town, so maybe go up this hill, we can still see that there's lots and lots of ramps and roads and things like that set up. There's some ruins up here. Looks like a castle with staircases. Staircases to make different parts of it accessible, even that part accessible, which wouldn't be visible from any part of the Lowtown map. And then over this hill, which again, not visible from the Lowtown map, you see even more locations. Now, I would say I'm pretty convinced, it's like a firing range down here, I'm pretty convinced that this is going to be a Warzone map at some point. I'm not sure when. You know, it could be something that they'll surprise us with and it'll come out really soon. Or it could be something that we're going to be waiting ages for. Or it could even be something that gets cancelled. But this looks a lot like Verdansk did before we could play on it. There's like a helipad type place here. And you can see like that looks like it's even got an ascender set up for it. And even some of the interiors are visible. Now, you can sort of zoom out and see more of the map, you know, from the sky, obviously. And up close, all of this looks kind of ugly because it's the version of the map that's loaded into the game just for Lowtown. But you can see here how many different points of interest there are. That looks a bit like Factory and Blackout, doesn't it? Where it was next to a river and you had all of those big vat type things. There's a massive point of interest over there on top of a hill. There's some docks down there, a massive bridge. There's no way they would flesh out all of these different routes and paths and everything just for the background that you might see for a split second when you call in a missile on a multiplayer map, I don't think. When we've seen other maps that didn't end up becoming Warzone maps, like the London map from Modern Warfare, it was nowhere near this detailed. There were buildings for sure, but it didn't have all of these kind of routes and different places you could access. Now, obviously, some of these other locations in Avalon, like the casino, which is just there, are actually other multiplayer maps. Just for context, the Lowtown where we started is right over there. You can't even see it right now. So yeah, or maybe that's the casino. Is that the casino? I don't know, one of those is the casino. So some of the other multiplayer maps are a part of this, but all of the areas kind of linking it together just look too much like a Warzone map for me to ignore, for me to think that that's not what's going on here. There's a big military base up here. You can see loads of like barracks and things like that. There's a kind of old fort, like a little walled city. That's the tutorial area, I think. And again, you can start this from the multiplayer map that takes place there if you want to do that as well. And then you'll see different bits in slightly higher resolution. But all of this is super interesting. All of this does look very much like exactly what you'd expect from a Warzone map. Like these little details, like there being a little pier down here, there being a flooded part of a town. It's exactly what I would expect from a Warzone map. But like I said, there's not really much else we can glean from this in terms of when is this likely to come? How far along is this? Or anything like that. Because the Verdansk map was in the game, as far as I remember, from launch, from the beginning of the game in like October or November 2019. And then it wasn't until March 2020 that we actually got that map. We know we are getting another big map for Warzone. We're getting Verdansk in the springtime. But this looks very much like it could be a second big map. It would be such an awesome surprise if they just dropped this on us at the beginning of Season 1. Like, that would be absolutely incredible. And I genuinely think it could happen. I genuinely think this probably is the new Warzone map. Let's just have a quick look over here. Oh, there's a massive stadium. Huge stadium. Some nice little mansions down there. I'm not spotting loads of places I recognize as like old multiplayer maps. Like, I'd kind of expect to see Nuketown somewhere, or Raid, or Firing Range, or something like that. You know, one of the maps from a previous game that would show up. There's a proper football field here. That's really cool. I haven't noticed anything like that, but maybe some of you who are a bit more eagle-eyed than I am would be able to notice it. Like I said, there's part of it that looked a bit like Factory. I'm just stunned by the distances in this. Like, this is a pretty big map. It's also so colourful. It'd be really nice if it was this colourful when we got it. The last few Warzone maps have all looked kind of yellowish to me. So it looks like there is a restaurant, like a Burger Town or something there. And a petrol station, a gas station. We've got a golf course. Don't think we've had a golf course before in a Warzone map, have we? There's a golf course and like a resort over here. I'm just trying to see if there's any other areas that we can spot. This all looks absolutely awesome. There's some big mansions up here, like a Hollywood Hills kind of area, is this? Or is this a bit more like a lodge? It's kind of hard to tell with some of these buildings, because obviously they don't load in properly. It's only loading in the very, very, very low detail ones. Oh, they're kind of like resorts type things, aren't they? There's some deck chairs there. But then there's also a weird little campsite type bit in the middle. Very, very peculiar. No idea. Over there, looks like there's some tennis courts. Very affluent area at Avalon. I assume it's meant to be sort of based on Monaco, that kind of area. I haven't played the campaign yet, so I don't know much about it. But it looks like there's a racetrack in the city and things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much all of it, I think, that we've seen. Oh, there's a nice little sort of area around the river. And then there's maybe some farmland over here. Maybe some orchards or something. Let's have a quick look. Oh, there's a weird building with some purple stuff there. Oh, it must be orchards, because they must be grapes, mustn't they? They must be purple grapes, and that's what's filling it up. So this must be the orchard area. Well, very, very exciting. So a massive thanks to Cassian on a Discord who told me about this, that you could get into Codcaster and have a look around. It's super interesting. You can do this yourself, super easy. Just set up a private game, set up the Codcaster, and then put yourself as a Codcaster, and you can fly around on any of the maps that take place in Avalon. So you can do it, obviously, on Lowtown, which is where I did this. But I'm sure there's a bunch of different maps that it'll work on. You can see here, this is going back to, like, the casino area. It just looks like this hasn't been done just for aesthetics. Like, this has been done for gameplay, I think, as well. Lots and lots of different little areas. You can see there's ascenders ready to go onto this rooftop. Hopefully it won't be too long before we're landing on this rooftop, having some fights, and then being able to look out over this incredible map. Imagine the sniping distances you could get from being up here. That could be amazing. Anyway, that's all for me for now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments whether you think this is a Warzone map. I mean, I'm 99% sure it is. And when do you think we're going to be getting it? And if you want to see more content from me from Black Ops 6, make sure you subscribe, turn your notifications on, and I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.